Yes, thank you. Well, this is almost becoming a reoccurring thing for the past 4 weeks or so. But we do have another graduation, and if you remember, our graduation about 4 weeks ago was LJ, Lonnie Johnson Jr., and then we had another graduation, Juan Ortiz, both of which are sitting in the back row here with their families. Yeah. And now the latest is Takoda Todd. And so me and Takoda, we've got to know each other over the last, he's been here a little over a year. And like, you know, we all have a background. We all have stuff. And so Takoda had some things that he needed to work out. So he's been with us a little bit longer than a year, and that's okay. That's all right. And, but Takoda and I, we worked together personally. We've dug ditches together and dug holes and laid rock and stuff like that. And so we've got to have a lot of conversations and got to know each other. And we've done some work. And I affectionately call him Toyota. And so he knows I do that. You know I do it because it's affectionate. And so, but he's gone through here and he understands and he knows that this is the beginning of the rest of his life. And so he's had some pretty severe obstacles along the way, not just here, but through his life. And some severe, I'm not living at liberty, but he's had some pretty severe obstacles to overcome. And he's continuing to work on those. And so, you know, it's but through the grace of God that we all go. And that God is not just a second chance in terms of forgiveness, but second chance at giving us a new outlook on life. And so with that being said, one of the things that we do at Joshua House is we don't just get them away from their addiction. That's the easy thing, because we live in a controlled environment. The guys live in a controlled environment. To keep them from their addiction is easy. It's simple. Once they start experiencing sobriety. When I say sobriety, once again, it's in a controlled environment, but their mind starts to become clear. Then that's when the challenges start coming up, and that's when the emotions start coming up, and that's when the things that they've been trying to suppress comes up, and we work them through that process. The other things that we do is we work on them vocationally, we work on their charges, and whatever else that we can work on and help them in life. And so we've been speaking with the public defender, we've been talking to the attorneys, we've been working with the judges, and this week he has a court date in Sacramento. I'm going to go with him, and once again, just because I graduated, they still receive our support. And so I'm going to go with him this week to his court date, and the public defender and the judge has agreed upon his graduation to expunge all of his charges. So he's not going to have it. So I say that not to glorify us. I say that to let you guys know as a church, as a congregation, these are the things that we're doing in Joshua House to help the guys that you help. Your love and your support on helping these guys, we're really helping them get ready and set for life. We help them get their driver's license, and we're helping Takoda try to fulfill his dream. He's already spoken to an Army recruiter, and the Army recruiter is looking forward to meet with him because he wants to have a career as a soldier of the United States Army. So these are just a few of the things that we do here for the guys, and it is a team effort, all of us together. Charlie, Jerry, Todd, Mike, Nick, and all the guys here, the love of the guys in the house, we all do it together, and you guys, of course, do. All supporting together. Habitat for Humanity, Nelson Manufacturing, all of our contacts, we all do it together. This is not just one sole entity, it's all of us. So it's because of that I'd like to introduce to you Takoda. Come on over, Takoda. Takoda, incidentally, he had a new pair of boots. Well, they were new as of December for Christmas, but they look like they're about a year old now in just a few short weeks. But he's been working, that's why. This guy is a worker. He has got a strong work ethic, and he's as strong as an ox. And he works. Any job that you ask him to do, he will do it. He won't make any excuses and say, well, I can't do that, or there's no way, I can't. He will do it. If you ask him to move a bricks, he won't say, there's no way. He'll figure out how to do it. He will do it. He's not a complainer when it comes to work. So, or when it comes to food either. So let's go ahead and show his video here.
Hi, my name is Takoda Todd. I'm a graduate of the Joshua House Mini Center program. Prior to Joshua House, I was experiencing homeless in the Sacramento area. I had been struggling to get out of that situation. I reached a point of desperation in which I cried out to the Lord, literally, and He answered my prayer. God answered my prayer through two friends of Pastor Gill's, and whom helped me get into this program. Their names are John and Doris Lopez, in which I owe a great debt of gratitude leading me to this house. Initially, I did not want to partake in the Joshua House. I wanted nothing to do with it. But I stayed. I did have some difficulties. There was a point in time in which I was asked to leave, but by God's grace, I was again brought back into the house. The next couple of days, within 2 days, I was brought back, which isn't normal, thank God. And since then, I have continued forward with the partaking in the program. I have worked on every single crew that this program has to offer. I've worked on the yard crew, I've worked on construction crew, I've worked on tree crew, I've worked on church crew, and I've worked at the Habitat for Humanity as well. My future goals are to hopefully successfully enlist into the United States military. It is currently something I'm working towards. I'd like to thank the congregation here at the Crossroads Community Church for supporting this Joshua House Men's Center. I'd like to stress the fact that I feel it's necessary to stress this, that you're saving lives, you're being a light to those who are sometimes lost in darkness, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Charles, I'd like to thank you for your mentorship. Todd, I'd like to thank you for your mentorship. Jerry, I appreciate your mentorship as well. Nick, thank you kindly for being a good leader. And Mike Ramirez, I appreciate your mentorship as well.
Yeah. I'd like to go ahead. I'd like to bring up quickly two partnerships that we have within Joshua House, and then we'll have Jerry and Charlie say a few things. But Doris, why don't you come up here, Doris? And then John Nicoletti from Habitat for Humanity. What's coming up here? Now, these are things that happen behind the scenes. You've met John, but you've never met Doris. And Doris and I developed a partnership when I was working with Teen Challenge. And she has been awesome. Doris is a Christian counselor, and she does counseling and she does teaching at William Jessup University. And so her and I met, and we've maintained our relationship. She's an awesome individual, and she gives us referrals when she has individuals. She'll give us referrals. And matter of fact, Mac was one of the referrals that she gave, and some of the graduates that we have had here have come through Doris. Takoda is an example of one of the referrals that she has given us, and she supports in the background. And I wanted to bring her here so that you can see there's a lot of stuff that happens in the background that you may not necessarily be aware of. And I want to thank you, Doris. And would you hand her, Doris, what does this mean for you to see one of your referrals, another one that you have given to us? And you've been like an adopted mom for him and a support system. What does it mean to you to see?
It's overwhelming. It's such a blessing.
I love oh my God. And those God's will, but He's big.
So the Lord's big, and that He can do anything, and I believe He put me in Christian counseling. And it was a blessing actually meeting Pastor, because it's just been wonderful to be able to bounce things off and talk and to bless, people that really need this ministry. This ministry is awesome. This house, I can't say enough. Seriously, I bring it up when I teach even in school because I'm teaching psychology of addiction. And people go, is there really any hope? Is there any place that anybody can go? And it's like, yes, I can say that. So anyway, thank you as well.
Yeah, it's been a good relationship. Yeah. And then John Nicoletti.
So Takoda had a great start at Habitat for Humanity, and then he had a trip and a stumble, and it's okay when you make mistakes if you fix it. And it really is an issue about your character if you don't. And what Takoda did next was just not more than just take responsibility, but he saw to it that the person that he had affected felt that their forgiveness for him was the only thing that mattered. And it happened in a first-class way. It happened immediately, and I knew that the person inside of Takoda's heart that he brings to everything he does, as Pastor Gill's talking about, is somebody who's just going to improve over and over and over again. And I know that the gentlemen that run Joshua House have a mean bone. They're rough on these guys when they think they need to be roughed up a little bit. Takoda took that zero tolerance and took it the right way. And I had just personally decided that I'm going to remain a pen pal during your military experience. Stay with this. You've really taught me the importance of making things right with people. So, he wasn't at Habitat for enough time to get one of those checks for the hours served, but I happen to have an ATM card, so.
So, John, you gave me your ATM card?
Takoda. I think I've been the toughest on you since you've been in the house. You agree? Okay, I want you to know that I love you and everything that we talked about, the 183 conversations we had, it was all out of love. Even though, it was all out of love. I do care about you. You're a good guy. You got a good heart. You're extremely hard worker. I'm going to miss you, believe it or not.
I think I was tougher. So let's get that straight. Yeah, he came in rough, and we smoothed some of the edges off of him. He's still got a ways to go, but like I told you last night, never compromise your sobriety. Not for a second. You write down the same everything. That I've learned just by some of the people that we've already lost to this addiction. So don't ever compromise. Stay on the path you're on. The Lord put you there. Keep it. You've been great in the house. A little rough. We already know that. But you really turned around the last month. So that's good. So on behalf of Crossroads, your ministry, Joshua House, this certificate of graduation. And your cross with the armor of God on it. You have to wear that forever, but not until we do the next one.
I am proud of you. It took me a long time to learn how to spell your name right. I had your name misprinted on that board more times than anybody else. You hold the record. But we are proud of you. You know what? I watched you, and you've had the best spirit and best attitude. And you've been willing to work hard at what you've come out of. And I want you to just know that you've got a bunch of people at this church that have been praying for you all the way along. All the way along. They've been He allowed our path to cross yours, but I also thank the Lord that He allowed your path to cross ours. And we count you as a brother in Christ, a good friend, and we're going to be excited for your career in the Armed Forces of the United States of America. We just know God's got the best for you.
Josh Wells, can you come up to this table, please? Yes, he was a
Any
volunteer.
volunteers or former students,
Teachers, you know.
teachers?
Hey Doris, why don't you come on up and get a picture with us?
Yeah, Doris, come up here.
Put her in the front next to you. Jason, you're gonna have to move, buddy. We got enough pictures of you. I'm just kidding, Jason.
Isn't this a great, good, look good looking piece of guy?